Hey, what's going on everyone, this is iReviews back with another video, and today we're talking about iOS 15. We're at the beginning of the year, so we're like 6 months away from the first beta of iOS 15, which will be very exciting. A lot of new things are expected to come to iOS this year, which of course will make this release very exciting. So in this video, we're going to talk about everything we know regarding iOS 15, starting from the release date, the beta one of course, and the public release, and then all the new features and everything that we can expect to see on iOS 15. First of all, we're talking about supported devices. There has been a report that Apple is dropping support for the iPhone 6s and of course the 6s Plus and the original iPhone SE. Those are the two oldest devices that support iOS 14 right now, and of course you can expect Apple to drop support for them, as of course they were also the oldest devices to support iOS 13, and now they have been cut off the list and of course won't make it to iOS 15. Great that Apple has actually supported those with iOS 14, but as we know, Apple has been focusing more on performance and bug fixes with iOS 14, so of course it makes sense that they have supported also those devices. So Apple is right now polishing iOS 14 with the all updates, and of course all the older devices will have a great iOS, but they won't make it to iOS 15. Now let's move on to new features. We're talking about things that we can expect to see on iOS 15, and also I will talk about a few things that I would like to see on iOS 15. First of all, what we can expect is a total redesign of iOS. I really believe that will happen this year. So this like flat design that we have on iOS 14 right now, it is the same basically since of course iOS 7. The flat design everywhere on iOS, it has been changed a lot through the years, but it's basically the base is the same. And now this year with the release of the new macOS 11, you can see that Apple has made changes to icons on macOS 11, adding depth to those icons, and we can see probably that similar design coming to iOS as well, and Apple should move away from the flat design of iOS. Of course, it has been 8 years now with the same design, and I really believe and Apple should go ahead and redesign completely the iOS, of course, giving it a fresh new look. That is also based on the fact that Apple with iOS 14 has been focusing more on bug fixes and improvements. Of course, there are like new features like the widgets, app library, but those are like features that won't require basically that much work. These widgets that you see right here, they don't actually do anything. You tap on them, they just take you to the app. It's basically just like a bigger icon. And of course, app library is really amazing, but with iOS 15, I believe Apple should put way more work on redesign and new features as well, and I believe that will happen. So expect way more new features and also a total revamp of iOS. As we're talking about widgets, I believe Apple should work more on them, and we should see like interactive widgets. Like for example, the music widget, here we go ahead, we play a song. There's nothing you can do with this widget. You don't have like any controls. You can play, pause a song or skip to the next one. You just tap on it and it just takes you right there to the app. You have maybe like a checklist. You cannot check anything on them. You just tap, go right into the app. You cannot do them. You can basically not do anything there. Like the battery, for example. What if I just 3D touched here and I have like the option, or from here, tap here, add the option to turn on low power mode or something like that. We don't have any of those options with the widgets on iOS 14. So basically they are not that useful at all. They display information and that's it. So I believe Apple should work on them, and that's something we should see on iOS 15. So more features for the widgets and of course the ability to interact with them. Now, what Apple has worked on with iOS 14 is also the ability to use third-party apps as default apps. Like Mail, you have here the browsers, of course, which you can use as basically third-party apps, which you can use as the default apps for your device. So let's go ahead and go to Chrome, and here we have the option to go ahead and choose the default browser. So I can choose Chrome here, and then of course every link will open in Chrome. So I believe with iOS 15, Apple should add more options to this, like more like apps that you can use third-party apps for. So like maybe you have the option to use the Messenger app or something like that instead of iMessage. So have more abilities to choose from other third-party apps to use as default apps for other things, like maybe Translate. Why not use Google Translate? I believe that's something Apple will work on, and you will have the ability to choose more third-party apps for default apps on iOS. Now, something a lot of people have been wanting for a long time is the ability to lock your apps with a passcode, Touch ID, or Face ID. Whichever method you want to use, just lock any app you want. That would be very, very convenient. So maybe like the photos, your messages, something that's really personal and really important. Like you have right now, on the Photos app, you go here and you have a hidden album where you can hide your photos, but the album is there. With iOS 14, Apple has added the option to actually hide that album. You go right there, you hide the album, but someone that gets your phone knows this feature. All they have to do is just go into settings and just unhide the album, and that's it. So with iOS 15, I hope Apple will bring the ability to lock apps using a passcode or of course Face ID, which would be even better. And one thing I hope they go ahead and take care of is the annoying pop-ups that you get on iOS for like low battery or rating an app or something like that. They interrupt you all the time, so just turn them into banners like they did with the phone app, with the phone calling screen and all that. You can do the same for battery and all that stuff. All those pop-ups hopefully will be turned into banners. And last but not least, we're talking about the release date. So expect Apple to hold their WWDC event in June. So I expect it to be at the beginning of the June. So last year is what it was planned for June 3rd, but then they pushed it, of course, because the whole situation, the pandemic and all that, they had to push it for June 22nd. This year, I believe it will happen at the beginning of the June, and I expect it to happen on June 1st. That should be the date when Apple will hold their WWDC 2021 event. And of course, on that event, you can see a presentation of the new iOS 15. And then later, after the event, they should release the beta, the first beta of iOS 15 to the devs. And then, of course, probably a couple of weeks later, on 15th or 16th, when they release the second beta, they should also release a public beta, which of course, anyone from the public can get access to and install iOS 15 in their device. And then, of course, during the summer, we will have probably like 8 or 9 or even 10 betas of iOS 15, and then we should see a release to the public probably somewhere in the mid-September. I expect it to happen, so usually it happens on the Thursday, so I believe it should be somewhere like in the 16th or even on the 23rd of September. Those should be the 2 days which I expect Apple to release iOS 15 to the public. So usually when they release a new device, the device goes on sale on Friday, and they release the new iOS version a day before they release that device to the public. So expect it to happen somewhere on a Thursday in the mid-September. So these are the dates that I believe we should see iOS 15 getting released to the public, and of course the beta in June. Really excited for this update this year. We should see a lot of new things, a lot of features, and I truly believe that there will be also a redesign of the home screen and probably most default apps of iOS. So that's basically it for this video, guys. This is what we can expect this year for iOS 15, of course, alongside with the supported devices and the release dates as well. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.